those clear obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering safely. Always to reach them in the still ones up as perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those clear obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering and safely. Always to reach them in the still ones up as perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. Dalla dang warsi pe da no parsi pe gek tharpa tang tham arda chu parase pa tham je zo se pe ma nam ka dang nyam sem je dang dang de dong har dang dar nyor de la na me pa yang da par zo pe sang jo rom bo je to par sa Dasanta achieve enlightenment. I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. This time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Khan Ru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandalas or yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sangha. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of Bodhisattvas. As previous Buddhas embodied the enlightened mind and progress on the Bodhisattva's path are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and apply myself to a complete stage of the path. And the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of jhana rasa and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in calamity that is free from attachment and aversion. I bow down to respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathangatas in the 10 directions. Those who have already reaching the Tathagata state, those who are reaching it at present, and those Tathagata state to come. Through the power of Samanthabhada's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I posited to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms are surrounded by the countless Bodhisattvas. Thus all space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through my manifesting, chanting, expressing the great ocean of the excellent qualities. To all Buddhas I make offering of veros, pure flowers, flower garlands, or music, anointing oils, manifesting like any fragrant incense. I make offering to them of fine garments, perfume, and poured pearl, poured high as a moon meru, and orange in the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I prostrate to Buddhas and make offering to them following the deeds of great Bodhisattva Samanthabhadas. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas and the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattvas and the Pakika Buddhas, those who have attained Aharasya, those who have entered the path of Aharasya, and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the highest way of Dharma as a light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions, leading them gradually to the enlightened states. I supplicate those Buddhas intending passing into Parinirvana to living long for as many eons as they are atoms of the earth in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of all sentient beings, all these are dedicated. The gurung is sprinkling with the scented water and strewed with the flowers. It is adorned with the Meru, the spirit mountain, the four continents, the sun and the moon. As Buddha fair, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness as Buddha fares. To the lamas who possess the three kayas, I offer outer, inner, and secret offerings. With my body, wealth, and all that is visible, please grant me supreme realization and enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of all sentient beings, all these are dedicated. Om Guru Rina Mandala Panzamanga Samanda Savarina Samaye Ahom. Jam Danger Domin Zam Lin Jin Trakwe Tong Song Yong Lai Chap Zum Me Jarwai Dorjen Chang Pan Je Ten Gong Shab Lan De Tu Da De Sam Je Chu Le Sing Je Lo Je Du Je Jin Yin Ge Men Ba Sar Ne Sam Je Jara De Do Bara Sing Ji Lo. Please turn the way of the Dharma of the two vehicles and the combination according to disposition and likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. Long praise to Majeshri. I'm going to do the Tibetan. Gange Lodi Dumye Dendara Nyadara Namda Razarva Jenye Dongen Jejen Zezar Nyeje Doga Lingwan Ze Kanda Sipe Zonra Mare Mendon Dongare Jizerve Rozo Gen La Beje Darze Yen Lai Tuje Yandin Song Ro Dara Je Ro Nye Mo Nye Long Le Je Ja Ro Don Ze Je Mare Menzara Dongara Nyuga Jenye Junze Radana Done Dajen Sabjen Tarzen Yonde Lez Jarze Ge Jara Jadan Junye Jende Dalo Menze Julande Om Arabasana de Om Arabasana de Om Arabasana Om Arabasana de 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 Om Om Arabasana de Om Wange Shorum Om Wange Shorum Om Wange Shorum Om Wange Shorum Om Wange Om Wange Shorum Om Wange Shorum Om Wange Shorum Om. You who are the perfect, beautiful body, those films of wisdom, blesses, and the dispel darkness of order ignorance, are posted before you and pressed to Manju Shiri. Yone Gelen Jang Wai Bo, Ye Shi Du Me Rab De Bar, Jeden De Mo Men Zawa, Jang Bar Yang La San Zer Du. Dange doje yaje reisen dong yenje mado deje bonjo serje lombo dover jibe ge yaje jabe yala ge zanze dorjenja Delo naro da marba mala jije gambopa Pamodra yarwa di gombe Kaju lama namla zorwande Rome yeje yenje bodane Zom sanje genje ngonye Ranzem jige ngonzon donzebe Save lame shabla guzanze Good afternoon, evening, morning, everyone. Today I'm going to share with you the four Dhamma of Gampopa. So, four Dhamma Gampo, the teaching is very short, only 4 sentences. So I don't know, you have this book Anyone has a book this like this or no? No, right? Yes, no, it's okay. So just 4 sentence. I think we can send it to you 4 sentence this in the chat room. Then you have. Someone can show picture this one in the last, then can send it to the chat room. Okay, Aminda can do. Thank you.
I will. You're welcome.
Yeah, so this 4 Dharma Gampopa, I did a commentary for this. This commentary is actually come from Supplication Tara, the same yesterday what I shared with you. So the Supplication Tara teaching, yesterday I shared with you is so in the Supplication Tara teaching has all these 4 Dhamma Gampopas included is another one verses. So I take from that verses, use this 4 Dharma Gampopa. I mean, like when I wrote the commentary for the Supplication Tara, the book, and then when I explain the one of the verses, I think the verses is like, if the meaning Dharma is not born in one's heart, so that is the first for Dharma Gampopa sentence. The one just follow the words of conventional meaning is seeking for Dharma, like grand blessing for the Dharma to along right path. So I did like this, followed by each, the supplication Tara, each sentence followed by in this 4 Dharma Gampopa. So yesterday I shared the supplication Tara. So this third verses actually. Third verses says, if the meaning of Dharma is not born in one's heart. So this is same is a grand blessing for the mind to turn towards the Dharma. So Gampopa saying it's a positive way. And this supplication Taras, if the meaning of Dharma is not born in one's heart, is so kind of like, we say not for negative way. It's, the point is the same. Why is the same? Because if the meaning of Dharma is not born in one's heart, means so we have to, our mind and heart have to arise for renunciation. So that's why Gampopa says grand blessing for the mind to turn towards the Dharma. So mind is going to turn towards the Dharma, then have to renunciation, have to arise our heart. Without renunciation arising in our heart, then Dharma is not born in our heart. So that's the, Jigten Sunggu said Dharma is not born in one's heart, means like not renunciation arises, Dharma is not born. Gampopa says grand blessing for mind to turn towards the Dharma. So long as we have arise renunciation in our heart, then Dharma is born. I mean, our minds turn towards the Dharma. So the point is, grand blessing for mind to turn towards the Dharma is the Buddha's all basic teaching is subsumed to in these categories. First, Gampopa, this is the first sentence. So what is the Buddha's basic teaching? So basic teaching is, generally we talk about Theravada tradition. Theravada tradition also the point is, followed by cause and effect. And more focus also for conduct. But in this case, of course, like Theravada tradition means like focus for conduct, at the same time also have to practice four thoughts meditation. So when you practice four thoughts meditate practice, then Dharma is born in our hearts. So long as when you four thoughts practice, then the mind turn towards to the Dharma. So mind is become turn towards to the Dharma. Then that is the blessing we receiving grand blessing. The blessing, the true blessing is mind is turned towards to the Dharma. Okay. So in these teachings, each teacher has a special way. I think all the Buddha's teaching bring into very short perform, very short instruction, bring to subsumed to short instructions. Last week I shared the the Tsongkhapa's teaching. They talk about the three principles. So Tsongkhapa bring all the teachings, bring to in three principles: renunciation, bodhicitta, and interdependent emptiness meditation. And Gampopa, so bring all the Buddha's teaching subsumed into these four categories. So here is a grand blessing for mind to turn towards the Dharma. So Buddha Shakyamuni also, bring all his teachings become included, like subsumed to three sentences. So what he says, like, don't commit it, no virtuous deeds. Yeah, that is the first one. And create virtuous, virtuous deeds. And subdued our own crazy mind. So, or control our mind, subdued our mind. So, that three sentences, then all the teachings subsumed into that three categories. Because Buddha shared Hinayana tradition, Mahayana tradition, Vajrayana tradition, three traditions. So don't commit any wrongdoing means all the Hinayana tradition teaching, basic teaching, all is subsumed to in that category. And the same, grand blessing for mind to turn towards to the Dharma. So that means, we really want to liberate. We really want to recognize samsara as a suffering. So that renunciation is arising in our heart. And then our mind turns towards to the Dharma. So that is called the Hinayana, most principal key. Without that, and then, our mind is still stuck, trapped into the samsara. So that's why Hinayana, the tradition, the key is renunciation. And without renunciation, so we cannot, we cannot reach, of course, liberate, but our practice is not going to get the goal or accomplishment without renunciation. So that's why renunciation is the first key. So even you're going to take refuge, so without they actually require renunciation. First, like when you're going to take refuge, vows, and then each levels, different levels of Pakimokkha vows, renunciation is key. So that's why in the Vinayana teachings always talk about the more important key is renunciation. And that's why, we have to create a renunciation. Where is renunciation is arising from? Renunciation is arising from four thoughts meditation. Four thoughts meditate, yeah? And that's why we have to cultivate precious human body. So precious human body meditation, last week I shared lots already during the, three principles Tsongkhapa teaching. The first one, renunciation. So when I shared that time, and the most important, of course, renunciation arising, this four thoughts meditation. First one is a precious human body. Precious human body meditation truly help us and reduce our suffering and attachment. So how can we practice precious human body, reduce our attachment and suffering? Because as long as we recognize, our own ability, we have our own good, this ability, good condition, we recognize, and we appreciate ourselves. So long as we appreciate ourselves, then naturally reduce the suffering. The suffering is like due to jealousy, and we don't recognize what we have. What our own ability, what we have, we don't recognize, and also due to jealousy, and also due to competitions, and looking, happiness is the wrong direction. So then, long as you cultivate precious human body, meditate, we really see our own ability, our own good conditions, and then that brings like our service, appreciate joy. So the appreciation is a positive feeling, and also joy is a positive feeling. Joy, positive feeling is into our heart, they naturally release suffering, sadness, and unhappy. That's all negative feelings naturally release. That's the fact. Because sadness, negative feeling cannot be with, positive feeling. We have to cultivate positive feeling. How to cultivate a positive feeling? We have to recognize, our own ability, good condition. So we have to appreciate ourselves. And then, we have good condition, we appreciate ourselves. So many other beings don't have the good conditions. Yeah, so we recognize many beings don't have that good condition. We cultivate love, compassion for others. And then love, compassion into our heart, then naturally negative feeling is purified. Sadness is released. Also purify many negative karma too. So appreciation and ourselves, create, rejoice ourselves, that makes like ourselves is happy, but not really purifying negative karma. But long as we have good ability, we recognize who don't have that, then arise love and compassion. So the love, compassion purify negative karma. If you your love, compassion is arise to the door, so we purify door negative karma. If your love, compassion is arise to the people who don't have food, who don't have drinks, who don't have educations, who don't have protections, many sufferings. Like if you arise, homeless example, so arise compassion for, love, compassion for them, they will purify that negative karma too. At the same time, we also benefit to the other beings, because the other who, example like our compassions arise to homeless person. So homeless person is causes of the compassion. So then the compassion purify our own negative karma, same time also purify homeless that person's the negative karma, specifically homeless is due to because no enough accumulation merit, and no enough generosity. So that's reason, many beings poverty, suffering. So all this negative karma is purifying. So that's why practitioners generate love and compassion for others, because use others' energy, you cultivate love and compassion, we can then purify their karma. So that is the spiritual person's job. Spiritual person's job is not, providing material things. Providing material things is, ordinary, like regular people have to do that, who don't know how to cultivate love and compassion, like generate, and that do that. That is the then called generosity, and also create a good karma. Just regular people can do that. People can create charities and support for the people who need, and general people can do that. But that can help them, but not really purifying their karma. Okay, so you cultivate love, compassion, use the suffering being's energy, then you purify their karma. They purify our same karma, negative karma. So that's the difference. And generally, people helping for others use like charity, generosity. Of course, the person create a good karma, accumulation merit, but suffering beings, they don't really receive, that much spiritual energy. They just receive like worldly support, not the spiritual support. Spiritual support is purifying negative karma. Do you understand? So that's the, logically we can approving and the thing. So that's why, we cultivate precious human body meditations, very powerful. Think about all the different realms of suffering, then arise strong compassion for them. So that purify our negative karma, go to lower realms of suffering, and lower realms of negative karma we purified, but then also we using lower realms of suffering energy, and use lower realms object of our own meditation. So that also benefited to the lower realm beings. Some stories like in this enlightened being Bodhisattva's power over there, like example, hair realms like extremely heat, so strong heat, or extremely frozen, suffering. So this enlightenment, the spiritual beings practicing use like Tongli meditation, who has a true power, like accomplishing meditation power. They do some connection. They also need to connection have to come together. Cause the connection comes together, they use this Tongli meditation, create love and compassion for in the hair realms. So hair realm beings also like temporarily like receive the also if the heat problem is like the wing blooding, right, something like that, the receiving like that kind of energy, and it's so cold and frozen, they receive like some sun's heat is like arising, like some benefit that naturally receives. So that's the using the object suffering, and someone really create a love of compassion, and also they purify their karma, but also the result, and they receive some benefit experience they're receiving. So that's why that precious human body meditation helps, create our accumulation merit, reduce our own negative karma, and also benefit for others. Then, of course, think about the impermanent. We recognize impermanent meditate. We wanted to practice Dharma. We don't want to wasting our own precious human body. So then the really arise true renunciation from samsara. So cultivate cause and effect, and followed by cause and effect. Meditate, cause and effect. Also meditate the defect of samsara. Samsara is a suffering. So yesterday we already shared, last week we already talked lots about that. And it doesn't matter where we are reborn within samsara, no one has a true happiness. No one free from suffering. So then, long as we take birth in samsara, like no one free from death. So everything's impermanent, everything's changing. So then we have to follow by future life. So only future life, when we die, benefit is a positive karma. Positive karma is come with us. So that's why, this fourth Dharma meditation, Gampopa meditation, talk about the first one is like renunciation. This renunciation is the most important. Then, so that's also here. I want to share a little bit is from the fourth Dharma commentary. So since we have sentient beings, like page 9, as talked in the Buddha Dharma, so have been cyclic cycling science term means like cyclic existing, many unbeginningless term, and memorar within this samsara. The mind stream of sentient beings have amassed strong habits of self-grasping, the causes of samsara, and the karmic imprints. Therefore, it is not easy to renunciate. Not easy to renunciation arising in our heart, because our, self-grasping, our own self-grasping, this samsara, karmic imprint is so strong. We create so strong this karmic imprint. That's why harder to get renunciation to the samsara. The reason for this is, first of all, the sheer length of the time we have been gathered habitual imprints. So habitual imprints is so long time ago. During this time, they have become quite strong, planted in us, means like karmic imprints, samsara habituated so strongly we create. That's why, even we practice Dharma, hard to receive some benefit, like fear, because due to our self-grasping, karmic imprints, habitudes so strong. If you cultivate, meditate, forethought, so still we are attached to the samsara again. And at that moment practicing, maybe we are okay. We think, okay, I'm good, recognize, understanding, samsara is a suffering. I wanted to liberate. It's attachments, we recognize the causes of suffering. We wanted to give up attachment, but then we go back to, again, in the worldly activity. Naturally, our mind habituate, karmic imprints, we attach to all the samsaric object, samsaric, activity. It's harder to give up that section. So that's why, we have to create, karmic imprints, renunciation in our mind. So true renunciation arising in our heart, our mind, then we can reach to Buddhahood one lifetime. Same is like Malarepa. There has a very strong renunciation. And Gampopa, he has a very strong renunciation, Gampopa has. So Gampopa is I think he's the physics or doctor. Yeah, so he has a family, and when he has family and his wife passed away, and then he has a very strong renunciation arising in his mind, and then he's going to in the spiritual journey, spiritual practice. So Gampopa then he's become Milarepa's students, and Milarepa has so many students. So Gampopa is the holder of lineage in Milarepa's, because he has the ability to hold the Milarepa's, teaching, or like, the lineage. He can hold it. He has that quality. He has the ability to do that. And the Gampopa also bring many other lineages together. So, and like Marpa Lotsawa, he went to India, he receiving all these Mahamudra teachings, and he has very strong Mahamudra, six yoga, Naropa, and all these lineages very strong, but he didn't have these other many lineages. So when Gampopa comes, then he has other lineages, he has teachings, so he bring all together. And that's sometimes they talk about the Kaju means like many lineages bring together. It's starting from the Gampopa. So then Gampopa, he has his own experience. Renunciation is most important. Then that is not only come from Gampopa, it's during the Buddha Shakyamuni time. So when Buddha Shakyamuni share the starting from, like Vinayana teachings, the key is he mentioned about the renunciation. Then renunciation causes is forethought meditation. So that's why when we're going to, practice uncommon preliminary practice, we need this forethought meditation. Forethought meditation is a basic preliminary practice. And then we're going to go into 5-part Mahamudra. So we need practice forethought meditation. Forethought meditation is a basic. So without that, you cannot go into uncommon preliminary practice. Without uncommon preliminary practice, we cannot reach to special preliminary practice. Without a special preliminary practice, then practice Yadamdeti, Guru Yoga, Mahamudra is also, not that successful. Many practitioners are not successful. So that's why, long as we have a renunciation, and then you practice Mahamudra, your Mahamudra practice has power, benefit. Long as we have a renunciation, we practice bodhicitta or Guru Yoga, Yadamdeti, Mahamudra. So long as we have a renunciation, then we have already preliminary practice. The true rare preliminary practice is renunciation. So without renunciation, that's why we have to, meditate four thoughts, four thoughts meditation. Long as renunciation arises in our heart, then you can go into bodhicitta practice. You can go to the Mahamudra practice. So that's also the last way we talked three principles of Tsongkhapa. So now, so that's why it's the most important is renunciation. So that's the Gampopa here mentioned about the grand blessing for mind to turn towards to the Dharma. Long as we have a renunciation, mind turn towards to the Dharma. And then Jigten Songkho also mentioned about the meaning of Dharma is not born in one's heart. It's like Dharma is born in our heart. So long as we have a renunciation, then Dharma is born in our heart. It's the same meaning. So in this case, in that sentence is all the basic teachings subsumed into that category. So Buddha Shakyamuni mentioned about don't commitment or don't create no virtuous deeds. So don't create or don't commitment no virtuous deeds is all this basic teaching is subsumed into that category. Because we create no virtuous deeds, then we create causes of suffering. So we don't want the suffering, right? We all beings want happiness, no one wants suffering. So that's the basic first one. Then second is grand blessing for the Dharma to go along the right path. So that's the Jigdin Songgung here meaning about one just follow the words of conventional meaning. So I think that sentence is got this together. So grand blessing for Dharma to go along the right path. Here is page 15. Page 15, you know the commentary, what he says, even if one already has a waking a mind of renunciation, someone has a renunciation, the Dharma may not go along the right path. So still, you know, we have renunciation. We wanted to get freedom, you know, free from samsara, but you have to know how to, you know, get rid of samsara. We have to know how to get liberation. So that's why renunciation is really wanted to liberate. That's also not enough. So that's why here says this could happen because of following after words and the labors in the teaching. So, and you know, yesterday we shared supplication Tara is we are just follow the words of conventional meaning. So the reason is because we have to know how to go to the right path. If you're going to somewhere, you have to know how to go there. Not only you wanting go there, you can lost on the way if you don't know how to go. Right? Renunciation is really no one can stop us. We really wanted to go. Anyway, going. But long as you're going, you have to know how to go there, So if you don't go there, you don't know how to go there, you go, so you can be lost. That's why here says, Jigten Songgo one just follow the words of conventional meaning means we can be lost. Followed by this, words of conventional meaning. Is then, many people really wanted to go to liberate and practice the Dharma. And then, go to like different communities, it's get wrong place also. And or different, like labors, meanings, that thing is just use like something say is important, we stuck there and then also create causes of suffering. So that's this meaning, this could happen because of follows after words and the labors in the teaching. So we stuck in the, labors of in teaching means stuck with religions and strong fixation to that, attached to that. And many happen that. So we have to use our own religion is the same as boats. So the religion is not the religion cannot be same as like boat is carry in your bag. Yeah. The religion is we have the same as use the boats and the boats cross the ocean or water wherever you're going to island. So when you reach the what is it called? The other side is called shore. Then you have to leave boat there. You cannot carry. Yeah, some people don't use the boat like cross the ocean. They always carry in the boat in the bag. So same, you attach to religion is the same. It's like causes of suffering, not the part of the liberation. So that's why here says, follow the afterwards and the labor in the teaching. For the Dharma to go along the right path, we should know that there are many instance in which words of Buddhist texts seem to be similar to non-Buddhist teachings. So very similarities, even this Buddhist, non-Buddhist, and the using the words, very similarities. But words is very similar, meaning is big different, same as sky and earth, big different meaning. So that's why we have to know, we have to create at least like wisdom, knowing how to, go right path. And many instances in which different philosophical traditions within Buddhism seem to be saying the same thing. Even like same in the Buddhist, like many different philosophical saying very similar words, but meaning is different. However, in truth, there are tremendous difference among them, as big as the difference between the sky and the earth. That's why Buddha taught the four spiritual ways of relying, and one of these ways is to rely on the meaning, not on the words. So I shared yesterday, we have to rely on the meaning, means the point is we have to know the Dharma. So follow the person, right? We really follow by the Dharma. And the reason the follow Dharma means we have to know the Dharma. And then, someone saying, okay, Buddha's teaching is incorrect. And when I went to Buddhist path, I get so much suffering problems. So there people say that, right? And then, you recognize it. That is not Buddha's teaching create the causes of suffering for that person. So that person has their own karma to happen that, And in this time, many people, follow their own, like kind of like, how to say, the feeling. So it's followed by your own feeling, then that's a mistake, because our own feeling is like incorrect. If our own feeling is correct, then we don't need to rely on the Dharma. So the many people, of course, like take refuge example, then say, okay, I take refuge. Some people say, become change, great happening. Just I thought, okay, she just like have a good karma, something he or she happen good things, but I didn't think that is due to the refuge. Okay, some people say, okay, I take refuge or do something Buddhist, I get miserable suffering. Something I didn't think that is due to the refuge and the Buddha's teaching. Something created her, he suffering miserable, but also just happening for that, naturally the problems, something have obstacles arising for that person. So that's the people follow the feelings. That's incorrect actually. Someone who really know the Dharma, they don't follow the feeling. And if I get problems, sufferings, I recognize it's of course like my karma or something problems. I don't think about, I practice Vajrakalaya or Yamitaka, that's why all this karma is, coming to me problems. No, and sometimes people say, I practice it, happening for this for me. No, that's also wrong. Truly, they not really follow the Dharma. Still just follow the feelings, and that person devotion is not irreversible. It's easily shift, because follow the feelings, follow the, like of course we are within in samsara, everything can be happening. So then you cannot say everything is like for the belong the Dharma, right? So I did the Dharma, that's why this comes for me. No, that's also misunderstand, mistake, big mistake. So then otherwise, then people don't practice the Dharma, then they're not going to have any problems. We see all this, someone not practice the Dharma, they has miserable sufferings all the time going on, right? So our life, we practice the Dharma, the point is like you have to transform our mind. Is go into the spiritual path. Then whatever problem, difficulty comes due to our negative karma, previous life karma. Happiness also comes like due to like some creative positive karma, previous life. Not that moment you did something practice or not, you know. Do you understand? So that's the we have to know. Then you have a more stable your own path. If weather is bad, oh yeah, this morning I did, I didn't do something, that's why this weather is bad. Weather is good, oh yeah, I did like this morning practice, that's why weather is good. So that is, then your practice is like really easily going to give up change. I mean, that means person is not follow the Dharma. Okay? So that's why here the main point of what I mentioned about in this section, we have to know our own path, create wisdom. If good is of course like then you knowing what you're doing and learning, study and get good some knowledge. Then long as you have knowledge yourself, you have certainty yourself. Yeah, certainty is like we have to know Dharma is unmistaken. Dharma is truth. That certainty have to arise in our heart. That certainty is actually truly really helps arising from study Mayamika teaching. But we don't have really time to do that. Mayamika teaching is sometimes boring. Why is it boring? Because too much investigate, too much talk, right? And use so much logics, harder to understand, and the difficulty, and due to our abilities, sometimes boring. Not that the teaching is boring, due to our ability, that makes it really boring too. That's the reason I don't share that much Mayamika teaching, because when I share Mayamika teaching, everybody going to sleep. So not that exciting. Yes. Another way, I thought Western people very sharp investigating, like to logic, need to find the truth. But another hand, not like that way. When we share Mayamika, too much logic and talk about investigating, everybody's bored. Yeah. So the point of Mayamika teaching really helps uncertainty. Dharma is uncertainty. That's why Buddha, he's confident. And that's the reason he said, follow the Dharma, don't follow the person. So follow the person means like every single person has, weakness or part, or we say like, we say positive, negative part. No one has 100% positive. That's very clear. Even someone has a 100% positive, but due to our own ability, we don't recognize that person has 100% positive quality. If we have to know someone has a 100% quality, someone has 100% quality, we have to know that that person has 100 quality means we also need that quality too. Otherwise, we don't know the person has 100% quality, positive quality. Because we know many realizer, many spiritual, really strong practitioners. We don't know that. The reason is due to our ability. We don't have that capacity to know. Yeah. And secondly, like people, someone like 100% positive qualities, very few, not many. 50-50, right? But I cannot say 50-50, like maybe positive 80 quality, you have 20 is not positive quality, but 20% is more strong. Do you understand? So we think about the way we go to like 1 month together, journey together. 1 day goes together, 2 days go together, maybe example like 10 days go together, 20 days go together, like everything okay, like 21st, 3rd, like not really triggered that much, but it's still okay. And 29 day, like some strong words or something, like then become not okay. Like you see, one day can 1 month your relationship is gone. Good thing. Then after like no more good relationship, after what you going to say? The person is no good. We never say like the person is good, because we bring like 29 days good, but 1 day is no good. So then 1 day no good is very strong, the 29 days. Do you understand? Yeah, so that's why the Buddha said also, ordinary being, so very hard to, how to say that, like, make, perfectly good. You can't make perfectly good. So the point is, like, of course, like even we have 80% good quality, if 20% is not good, but still people put us in the not good one. Okay. So anyway, if follow that way, then we don't see any spiritual person has good qualities. Because another level, spiritual practitioner teachers is not enlightening beings. Many spiritual teachers, spiritual practitioner also still on the path, like it's called regular people. So that's why, we can see always mistakes. And then another hand, like if you have really good recognize your teacher, guru is like really Buddha, then you follow always together is great. Otherwise, they say don't follow all the time together. So also, like, the 16 Karmapa, what he says, who see me, who have connect with me, have that person free from lower realms. Who is be with me, that person never has liberation. so means because always be with them is they create, always like this negative karmas with that together. I hope you understand, what I mean. So that's the, like, sometimes we think, oh, like people follow the teachers together all the time. We say, oh, they are great, but sometimes not. They don't have a connect with like we seeing, If you go too much together and all the time, then they don't follow the spiritual teacher, because then they think is okay. I'm same. Yeah, it's that's why Buddha Shakyamuni also he has one student with him, and his name is Likpa Karma, and he has great knowledge, and he has so much text he's memorized, and then one day he think Buddha and me are same. Just he has so much teachings, his knowledge. I have also knowledge. What Buddha knows. I also he think he knows, but actually not. Yeah, but he think he knows, and then what he says, you and me are just same. You have only another special is like you have legs come from your heart. The legs I don't have. Buddha has a light arising his heart. On and Donggang Matopa means like Buddha has like one, like, this way, how to call this one, from her left finger to like right finger, like open your arm. And that lights, like that between Buddha has lights coming from his heart when he walks. And he said, you have these lights. The light is powerful. And he said, I don't have that. Other I have. Then he left. So Buddha said, okay, you get obstacle, better don't go, you purify your karma is better. He said, no, I have all this, everything's great. And the Buddha said, no, you don't know, you are not great. You're going to die within 1 week. Don't get a wrong view. He said, no, I'm not going to die within 1 week. So then he think, oh, I use that word. The Buddha said, I'm going to die within 1 week. And then I'm going to telling other people, like Buddha said, told me within 1 week, I'm going to survive, no, I'm not going to die within 1 week. I'm going to survive, and then I use these words for others, sharing what Buddha says, not truth. So he has this idea, intention, then he went to where he have to live there, and he kept everything perfect, put secure like protections, because he wanted to survive within 1 week. He don't want to die within 1 week. And then he drank water, and that affected something in his body, and he died within 1 week. So that is like in the, that story is in the Parchong Chapato Rinpoche. His teaching in the, my perfect guru. I think you know that teaching. I heard I think it's like that. It's the theater. It's a perfect mind guru. In there has these stories. Zapato Rinpoche, he used many stories. He used that story inside there. So the point is, we have to learn knowledge, gain knowledge, understanding, good way, and the certainty, true certainty, Dharma is perfect, have to arising in our heart. Then we follow our whatever we doing practices become very powerful. And the same time, whatever we get problem, obstacles, we never lost devotion to the Dharma. We never lost our own path. So that's why not only renunciation, we need to know wisdom or knowledge, not follow the person, follow the Dharma. So yesterday we talked a lot about that. So that's why Buddha also mentioned about investigation me, investigate my teachings, because he has that confidence, so he can say that if people follow the Dharma, then that person never lost their faith and the devotion. Then here it says, okay, like page 17, Bodhisattva is the one who, out of compassion, does not abide in the extreme of nirvana. Bodhisattva then, has compassion. So this is second, Gampopa, grand blessing for Dharma go along the right path. It's go along the right path. We need the knowledge, knowing the Dharma, and need the love and the compassion. So without the love and the compassion, then Dharma is not going along the right path. So that's also yesterday I share, lots. Without the love and the compassion in our heart, we are not spiritual person. Still, we are ordinary person. So love, compassion arise in our heart. We are not ordinary. We are Bodhisattva actually. Then we are spiritual person. Doesn't matter auto level, like which kind of cloth you wearing and which follow traditions, long as the true love, compassion arising in our heart for other beings, we are spiritual person. So then that time we have this, Dharma go along the right path. We have a true blessing, grand blessings for the Dharma go along the right path. So that time then we have this ability. Bodhisattvas, one who out of compassion, through the compassion, does not abide in the extreme of nirvana. Then they become beyond the already shavakas. Yeah. So shavakas means I wanted to only liberate, and you stuck in the nirvana. But Bodhisattva go beyond already. Even the selflessness of realization is not strong, same as this shavakas. but due to compassion, so already beyond the shavakas, due to the compassion, they're not going to start in the nirvana due to compassion. And who out of wisdom also does not abide in the extreme of samsara. The bodhisattva not stuck in samsara because due to the wisdom. Bodhisattvas not stuck in the nirvana due to the compassion. When one has wisdom, one looks at the sentient beings of conditioned existence. The beings who are lost in samsara and sees that it is because they are ensnared in the web of self-grasping and the great abyss or abyss of ignorance, that they are tormented by ceaseless suffering. So this bodhisattva seeing this, samsara beings extremely suffering due to ignorance, arise true compassion for arising for these suffering beings. Then, so the here is like compassion means this is a very good explain compassion, because compassion means like we seeing beings suffering due to ignorance, and then arising compassion. It's called compassion. It's seeing suffering, and that's we wishing free from suffering. It's called compassion. It's from that recognition that great compassion is born. Then compassion is born, arise in our heart. And it is from compassion that the supreme bodhicitta can arise. Long as we have a compassion, then bodhicitta arise. Why is compassion bring the bodhicitta? Because we see all these beings suffering, and so we wanted to help them, free from suffering. And then free from suffering is only wanted to liberate. So otherwise, like if you help something in the worldly level, but still kept going in suffering. So we wanted to liberate other beings. That's called bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is only Mahayana practitioner starting has. So because the bodhicitta is different than Hinayana and Mahayana. Hinayana tradition has a compassion, love, compassion has, but not bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means I want to help all these beings liberate. So you can see other tradition follower also has a love, also has a compassion for others, but they don't thinking about I want to liberate all these suffering beings. They don't have like in the Buddhist, like within Hinayana tradition in the teachings, they don't mention about that. And then of course other tradition, like many different religions, they don't have the intention. So that's why bodhicitta intention means I want to liberate other beings free from suffering. If you have a bodhicitta, it means your dharma has gone along the right path. You see, love, compassion into our heart, dharma is go along the right path. So that means then grant blessing for the dharma to go along the right path. So it's Jigten Songgon here, says like one just follow the words of conventional meaning. We not follow the words of conventional meaning. We really follow the dharma. Okay, so follow the dharma means have love, compassion, bodhicitta have born in our heart. Then we have a dharma go along the right path. Dharma is going right along the path. Then our following, the practicing, teaching, everything is right, truth, not lost. So here then person who give rise to supreme bodhicitta like this must apply themselves or herself to the path of the six perfections, six paramita. So then we mention about here six perfections. I'm just going to share a little bit. This six perfection is very beautiful. We have to know. The first perfection is jnanarasti. To practice this, we learn to give up the objects of our attachment and clinging, practicing jnanarasti at the level we are able. So we have to follow by our ability. We cannot give like something we not our own ability. We can make offering to the three jewels of refuge by mentally offering all things that belong to us, as well as all that do not belong to us. This serves as an antidote to possessiveness and self-clinging. This, the spirit of giving that is cultivated here constitutes generosity by which we give to others without attachment. So the generosity, the perfection of generosity is by which we giving to others without attachment. So then that have to arise in our heart, mind. Yeah. Then our generosity is accomplishments. So the second perfection is moral ethics. Ethics is defined as the practice of abstaining from causing harm or suffering to others through one's three doors, body, speech, and mind, bringing forth virtuous quality and dharma where they have not arisen before, maintaining what virtuous qualities have already been cultivated without letting them deteriorate, and increasing these virtuous qualities as well. From the vantage point, one's mind is directed towards accomplishing benefits of sentient beings as much as one is able. So see, if Dharma is not born, then we call we have to Dharma is there were not arising before, maintaining that virtue quality. We maintaining what we have, not let decline the virtuous deeds, and then already being cultivated without letting them deteriorate. So and then increasing this virtue, we try to increase our virtuous qualities as well. From this vantage point, one's mind is directed towards accomplishing the benefit of sentient beings as much as is able. So have good intention, wanted to benefit others. So that's called morality. The third perfection is patience. The patience is defined as forbearing, antagonism from others and all discomfort or hardship that occur when one is practicing pure Dharma. When practice Dharma, we go through hardship, difficult to use that, for the practice is called the practice patience. Patience also refers to the mind that is able to handle the meaning of Dharma, ultimate truth, without shrinking away in fear. So, whatever we heard the Dharma teaching, sometimes our condition ability not ready to accepting something. Some people don't want to have renunciation. They say, I love my family, I like my job, I like my house, I like my car, So I don't want to have renunciation. So that's this misunderstanding, because we have some this temporary something good things, like we think I'm great, I have this. So that means like we don't have a passion. So when we have this good foundation in the samsara, and you have accepting, we talk about renunciation, right? That is called passion. And some people not ready to hear bodhicitta. That's too much for them. So even we don't have practice bodhicitta, but we have ability to hear bodhicitta. We like to hear that. So that's called the passion. So we don't have practice, like realization emptiness. We still have very strong fixation attached to all this object. For us, everything's right. Like for us, like everything's how to say the exist, inherently exist. We don't have any like ability or practicing realize like emptiness, maybe 1%. But we hear the emptiness, we accepting, and have ability to hear that teaching. So that's called the passion. So that's why here says, passion also refer to the mind that is able to hinder the meaning of dharma, dharmata, automate truth. We can hinder, we can accept. We like to receive. We recognize it is true. And even we don't have ability to, that practice, but we like to hear, we understand it is true. So that is the passion, true passion, without thinking away in fear. The fourth perfection is diligence, as there is referred to have enthusiasm, joyfully perceiving in Dharma. Then meditation stability, that is the fifth. Perfection is referred to single pointedly directing the mind towards the virtue. The number 6, the sixth perfection, the perfection of wisdom, refers to recognition of the absolute nature of reality just as it is. So that's the, like long as you follow the, we practicing 6 paramita, then we have this granting blessing for Dharma to go along the right path. So that's the second verses is lots of information that if we follow the commentary, cannot finish it then today. It also takes a couple of days then. So we go to next verses. I think that's enough. The second one, the main point, the second Dharma go along the right path is we need love and the compassion. Bodhicitta have arise. And we have to knowledge something, Dharma knowledge, we knowing what we're doing. We have to certainty ourselves what we're doing is truth. And then follow the, practice the 6 paramita, then our Dharma is go along the right path. So grant blessing to dispel confusion along the right path. And then this one is, even though one may have awakened compassion and bodhicitta. So that's the Tsongkhapa mentioned about the third one, we practicing the interdependent, right? Last, 3 principles Tsongkhapa, last one is called interdependent. It's the same. Grant blessing to dispel confusion along the path. So this is the view of the Mayamika practice teaching. Even though we may have awakened compassion, is page 27, the commentary, and bodhicitta, one may not be able to dispel confusion and about how to practice the meditate properly on the path. So if we're going to practice meditate absolute true view, so not only bodhicitta, because the bodhicitta is a method. Love, compassion is always a method. We need wisdom. So wisdom need method need wisdom. Okay, so these have to go together, have to bring together, not separate. So even we have a good method, but we need wisdom. So that's why people who strive for liberation and omniscient Buddhahood must diligently apply themselves to the methods for internalizing the pure view of selflessness, not satisfied merely with obtaining food and clothing. So it's a lot of information is here. We're not going to go all this commentary information. So the point is like we are human beings, right? We cultivate bodhicitta. We have that ability to cultivate, but we also have more wisdom than other beings. Human beings have more wisdom. So this our own wisdom used for the pure view, true view. So we have to cultivate, and here is the page 29, what here says, that is why we must study the meaning of interdependent origination to understand the meaning of selflessness. So we have to know the interdependent. In order to understand the selflessness, we need certain clarity regarding the subtle and grosser level of selflessness as they are presented according to the different philosophical systems. So create wisdom, we have to know all these different kind of philosophical systems. If we have ability to know that, also good too. Then this philosophical system has so many informations. I mention about each one here, but we don't have time to go all this, one by one. Today, not necessary to go all this one by one. Another level, very hard to know these levels because in this one is very short information here. Short information is good for the who already have studied Mayamika teaching. Then they're really easy to understand what meaning is here, short point. But sometimes, people who don't have a background Mayamika teaching, the short information sharing is not easy to understand. Yeah, if long as you have Mayamika teaching, you have basic or this education, then talk about these short sections is you fully understand what you're talking about. Very easy. So then the point we have to know, the interdependent is very important. So long as we know interdependent, then everything's okay. So that's why page 41 is page 41. Please load to page 41. What page 41 says here, without studying the 4 subjects of learning until becoming adopt even the supreme illusion, one could not have become omniscient. So what meaning is here is, we have to learn this 5 subject. 5 subject is big topics, but 5 subject, all these 5 subject is interdependent. Long as you know interdependent, you understand 5 subject. So then you have causes of omniscient wisdom. Omniscient wisdom causes is interdependent. So the point is, like, long as we know the interdependent, then we have all the essence of knowledge. So the essence of teachings and knowledge, this all subject, essence of knowledge. Because we have so many subject. Here is a 5 subject, but so many different subject. The Western culture, ancient time, different subject, culture, like different subject, so many subject. All talk about different subject. Is everything is one subject. What is one subject? Is everything is interdependent. And long as you know interdependent, all subject you know already. And I have issues hard to understand before this sentence, because if we don't know this 5 subject learning, we cannot be enlightenment, omniscient, become Buddha. So then, on the other hand, many Tibetan yogis, without this 5 subject learnings, they can be enlightened. I can see that, they can realize. So 5 subject is like mentioned about in Tibet, different subject. We have to like talk about astrologies and medicine, and so physics, medicine, like that kind of, like many subject, talk about many different kind of subject. But then understand very clearly this all 5 subject is subsumed to one subject. One subject is interdependent. Long as you know interdependent, then we know emptiness. So then you can achieve to omniscient wisdom, because omniscient wisdom is arising from interdependent. So all this subject, whatever in the technology, in the right now we create in the during 21st century, everything is followed by interdependent. So that's the reason everything is possible, everything is included in the interdependent. Long as we know it's interdependent, then everything is already good. So many different religions is like we can learn, but harder to know all this religion study. But long as you know interdependent, then you get certainty the Buddha's teaching is unmistaken. That's why Nagarjuna, he said, homage to Buddha Shakyamuni. He said, homage to Gautama. Reason is because you share these interdependent teachings. No one shared that before, and he said that is the truth one, and that's why interdependent we can approve through logic investigation. And then that's why his Nagarjuna say you have omniscient wisdom, because you share interdependent teachings, and pay homage to you. So long as we know interdependent, all the teaching, all the subject is belong to that category. And so long as we wanted to become Buddha, we have to gain realization emptiness. The reason is emptiness is interdependent. Interdependent is emptiness. Emptiness is no other than interdependent. Interdependent is no other than emptiness. Very easy. So without knowing that, we cannot give up our fixation and grasping for the object. So then we don't know impermanent, then we don't know interdependent, we don't know emptiness, then our mind is so strong fixation attached to the object. So long as we have understand the interdependent, everything is interdependent, then we know everything is emptiness. Your mind is already free from all the appearance. So Pema Sambhava, he mentioned about three statements pointing instruction to the older woman. The first one, he says, no fixation to the appearances. So long as you know everything is interdependent, emptiness, our mind is no fixation to the appearances. As long as mind is no fixation to the appearances, then our mind is liberated. The appearance is no problem. Then you can have family, you can have a car, you can have like million homes, whatever you have is no problem. So your mind is no fixation attached to that. You can enjoy use that or the good conditions. That's is the most important here. Then another one here says, okay, so next the last one. This my this so many pages joined together.
Oh, no, not this one. Oh.
Can you just use the scissor or something? I did mistakes. Thank you. The new book. The last one, grand blessing for the confused perception to arise as wisdom. So this is the then Pema Sambhava he shared the three-bit instruction to the order woman. The second one and the third one is included to this one. Grand blessing for the confused perception to arise as wisdom. This is the Mahamudra and Dzogchen teaching. It's subsumed into this category. So Tsongkhapa, last week we shared three principles. He has the first three, but no last one. And the Gampopa, he used this last one. Is this is the we have usually talk about the Lamrim text, and the Gampopa is the he created the first Lamrim text. It's Jo Onoming Liberation. I think most people knows. Then followed by Jo Onoming Liberation, many Tibetan masters create the Lamrim text. All this Lamrim text is only Mahayana level. So in the Lamrim text, not included the Vajrayanas, the completion stage, Dzogchen and the Mahamudra. So Gampopa here, in this fourth Dharma Gampopa, three yanas and also Mahamudra and the Dzogchen are included already here. So Gampopa lineage is Mahamudra. He don't mention about Dzogchen, but Dzogchen view, Mahamudra view, I've shared you many times, is the same. Everything is included in this last section. Grand blessing for the confused perception to arise as wisdom. So as this one is a very profound meaning here. Charm is like how long we have. Okay, we have a little time to go this one. So this section also is in the supplication, Tara, the teaching in the commentary I have. So I bring mostly from there when I created this together. So as expressed in this line above, the pro-modal nature of mind is empty. Essence of clear light. The mind is empty and also essence of clear light. So mind is no nothingness, right? Mind is empty, is clear light. Then when we meditate, when you meditate, don't have to think about my mind is emptiness. You cannot find that emptiness. So many my gurus, like their pit instruction, like when they're practicing, they say, when you meditate, you seeing clear lights, clear, so you're resting with that state, and no need to look into emptiness. Clear light itself is emptiness. So you no need to try to find and search emptiness. We cannot find. When you meditate, you use your awareness, mindful awareness, and looking onto your own natural mind. So that mind is present, clear. And long as you recognize it's present, clear, and the mind just maintain that clarity. And then emptiness is inseparable with the clarity. We have to maintain clarity, not maintain the emptiness. Emptiness you cannot find, okay? If you go try to look in emptiness, you cannot find anything there. So that's why, when you meditate, looking into your own mind nature, your mind is empty, but it's present clear, maintain the clarity. So that's why here says clear light. Mind in nature itself is Dharmakaya. So that the clear light itself is emptiness. It's called Dharmakaya. And the meaning of Dharmakaya is that pro-modern knowing. So that mind, clarity itself is emptiness. That emptiness is called pro-modern knowing. The union of luminosity and emptiness. So that pro-modern knowing is union of luminosity and with emptiness. Emptiness, clarity is union, inseparable. So when you meditate, you cannot find the emptiness. When you meditate, you have experience clarity, just maintain clarity. Then emptiness is inseparable there. That pro-modern knowing, the luminosity, emptiness, that is no other than this momentary thought. So this, pro-modern, here mention about the pro-modern knowing, the union of luminosity, emptiness, that is in the nature mind, nature rigpa. That pro-modern knowing, the luminosity is emptiness, that is then no other than momentary thought. So this right now, our momentary thought, that is the nature rigpa. Nature rigpa is no other than this momentary thought. So you get rid of momentary thought, you get rid of already nature rigpa. Yesterday I mentioned about you get rid of the ice, you get rid of already water. So ice itself is water. So that means we don't see the water, we see the ice. Okay, ordinary people. So same, we see the momentary thoughts, we don't see the Dharmakaya. Meditators not see these momentary thoughts, they see the Dharmakaya. And that's why, Gampopa and mention about this Kaju tradition has saying, thoughts is Dharmakaya. So thought is Dharmakaya is who has ability to know this momentary thought is emptiness. It is a natural rigpa. Then thought is Dharmakaya. So that means like what ice is water. Okay. Many other, like in Tibet, we have a different four lineages. The other philosophers, other lineages also disagree the Kaju tradition, what they says. Kaju tradition saying, thought is Dharmakaya. Then the other, this lineage says like many, like, this philosopher, other lineages mention about thoughts cannot be Dharmakaya. Thought is thought. Yeah. If thought is Dharmakaya, then every sentient being is already liberated. So they use that, logic and debated, but that means misunderstand. The point is like thought is Dharmakaya means like, ice is water. So someone say no, ice is ice. Ice is not water. If ice is water, you go swim in the ice. So that means like, they're debating like that way, but actually who has ability, thought itself is what? The ice itself is water. So thought itself is Dharmakaya, means some meditator, practitioner not seeing the thoughts, they're seeing the Dharmakaya. They don't have thoughts. The thoughts arise, thoughts is emptiness. So that means thoughts is Dharmakaya. There is no such pro-modal knowing, no luminosity, emptiness to be found anywhere outside of or other than this momentary thought itself. Okay, so we get rid of these momentary thoughts, then we cannot find Dharmakaya. So same, you get rid of the ice, you cannot find the water. And what ice itself is water. So right now we have this thought because we know recognize it's Dharmakaya. And when you meditate, it could be, when you meditate, your mind is into yesterday we talked about on nature home or nature states. When thoughts arise, we have to recognize. Thoughts recognize means have to recognize thoughts is emptiness. So long as it recognize thoughts is emptiness, thought itself is called the Dharmakaya. Wisdom rather Dharmakaya is not apart from that this. So thought is no other than that. So that's why I think this comes from Saraha. Saraha says, Saraha is the Nagarjuna's teacher. He is the, the yogi, king of the yogi India at that time. This itself, the clear awareness of the present moment, is the true face of relatively true phenomena. So if we don't know this momentary thought is relative truth, without altering this, if you know this nature, if you know its nature, this itself is automatic truth. So same, if you don't know ice is water, ice is ice. If you know ice is water, then ice is water. So if we don't know this momentary thoughts, then its momentary thoughts is a relative truth. And as long as we know this momentary thoughts is true nature, then it is the automatic truth, means like Dharmakaya. And just as expressed, so I wrote these things like commentary in the Supplication Tara at that time. Just as expressed in these above verses from the Mahayana Sutra Alankara, ornament of the Mahayana, when a positive or negative thought or emotion arise, whatever this positive, negative emotion arise, if we do not look deeper into it and instead simply get caught up in its display, the accrues karma. So when these thoughts, emotions arise, we don't look into thoughts, emotion, you don't investigate, or we don't liberate the thoughts, emotion itself, then its thoughts, emotion create the causes of samsara. So same is like thoughts, emotion is same is like the snow falling to the frozen ground. Then snow is falling to the frozen ground, snow is accumulate. Same, thoughts, emotion arising, we don't see that thoughts, emotion, it itself is emptiness. If then it is released itself, it become thoughts, emotions. Same is like snow is like falling to the ocean, cannot accumulate. So that is like someone when thoughts, emotion arise, they recognize thoughts, emotion itself is emptiness. So then snow is falling into the ocean, same, cannot accumulate, cannot create a karma. So if we don't have ability that, but when thoughts, emotion arise, we just look to thoughts, emotion, you can investigate the thoughts, emotion, is not truly inherently exist. So then thoughts, emotion cannot create a karma. Then here says, however, when we examine the thoughts or emotion, look into the essence of the thoughts, it naturally ceases its own nature and never truly existed. So thoughts, emotion never truly inherently exist. Same is like snow falling to the ocean, cannot create, accumulate. Recognizing this is the cause of nirvana, that is awakening to pro-modo knowing Dharmakaya. So that is the Dharmakaya. Then here this is a beautiful. This quote is from also come from Uttara. Since it is so subtle, means our natural mind is very subtle. It cannot be in object heard. So use this our senses, right? And you're using your ear senses, true nature you cannot hear. Because true nature is very subtle, no object of hearing. Heard. And it's so forth means like the true nature is not object of this eye seeing. True nature is not object of the, your tongue can taste. So not object of five senses. True nature is because very subtle and beyond our this five senses. And so forth. Since it is atomic truth, because it is atomic truth, not relative truth. If the true nature is relative truth, then our five senses can approving, can found. And this atomic truth, I mean, true nature is not relative truth. It is absolute truth. That's why beyond our five senses and beyond the words, beyond the expression, beyond the hearing, it cannot be thought about. Since the Dharmata is profound, very profound meaning, or ordinary worldly level meditation and so forth cannot objectively it. So our this the relative meditation, like relative meditation, conceptual meditation, and conceptual thoughts cannot identify. So that's why perform it ordinary worldly level meditation and so forth cannot objectify it, means like cannot find the true nature. Since it is so incredible, subtle, so our mind nature is very subtle level, you cannot hear about it as the topic of in ordinary worldly discourse. Since it is atomic truth, it is beyond being the subject of ordinary worldly contemplation. So, worldly contemplation is we satisfy ourselves. Sometimes we meditate, right? And we satisfy ourselves, yeah, like this, yeah, it's correct. I have felt that, I understand, I meditate, I have this kind of feeling, or and I have this experience. That's also incorrect. You making yourself like make decision something like through worldly level. Then that is not really atomic truth. Atomic truth is not our capacity, not our conceptually capacity can bring to like understand. The subject of ordinary worldly contemplation, no subject of that. Beyond being the subject of ordinary worldly conceptions. Since Dharmata is extremely profound, it cannot be the object of meditation or in ordinary worldly meditation. Ordinary meditation is use object. So when we meditate, like you mostly have the there's so much Mahamudra Dzogchen teachings, like so like absolute true. I mean, this nature ripa meditation, we don't use any object, and we don't have support. So mind seeing mind nature, no subject, no object. On the topic, Mahasiddha Telopa said, Telopa have nothing to show. If you just see yourself, you will be free. So someone cannot show for us because nature is within ourselves. We have to know, we have to discover our own nature through practice, meditate. And someone cannot give it to us, share us, cannot transform realization, someone. Saying this, Telopa simply whacked Naropa on the head with his shawl. So we saw Telopa take out his shoes. I think Devi is really exciting. That's good. So shoes, why he hit shoes to Telopa's head? Reason because Naropa expecting Telopa transform something for him, I think. Or he going to show something for him, right? Telopa said nothing to show because it's absolute truth, it's nothing to show. Not object of show. If you have showing something, then that is no Mahamudra. It's you transforming something, then that is no Mahamudra. You transforming your, airdrop. We have airdrops. You can send fires to transform through the internet. We can do that, but the realization is not possible. It is not that the atomic truth is something there that he was unable to show. Telopa not unable to show, but rather that the very nature of it is something that cannot be shown. So Telopa not ability to showing, because the truth is something that cannot be shown. So Buddha also cannot show, because it is beyond language, beyond words, and beyond metaphor or symbol. In this practice to the mother of a Buddha, the praise to the praise to the mother of the Buddha, the Panchaparamita, when we say Nasam Jumi or beyond articulation, beyond thought, beyond expression, we are not saying that is the something there that can be articulated, right? Articulated, thought of or express, and that we simply lack the ability to do so. But rather that this nature is itself beyond word, thought, and expression. Although such ordinary worldly people like us, during the path of accumulation, we can focus on listening to the teaching and contemplating this absolute nature. Then during the path of approach, we envision this nature in our meditation on the essence of Dharma Dharta. When we achieve some degree of meditative stability, after that comes the path of seeing. So now it's just going to go back to point is Mahayana level. This the Mahamudra not talking about this different stages. This different stages Mayamika tradition. So seeing path to all the way, no learning. So for the talk about 5 path and 10 permits, that all is Mahayana level, Mayamika tradition. So right now is this grand blessing for the confused perception arise as wisdom is Mahamudra level, and then if even followed by the Mayamika level, we can talk, use this language way to follow. The Mahamudra directly go into your own natural states. We don't follow these stages. And when we meditate, practice. So at the Mahayana level here, right now, so first, we contemplate listening and cultivate and listening, meditate, and then followed by this 5 path. Right now we are in the accumulation, merit path, listening, teaching, cultivating, engaging path. Like you have this visions of the, here says, approach, we have invasion, this nature in our meditation. Then on the essence of Dharmata, once we achieve 1 degree of meditative stability, free that comes with a part of seeing, means then really seeing true nature, the seeing part. So it's followed by stages. The point is here, grant blessing for the confused perception to arise as wisdom. All the thoughts, emotions, sufferings, happiness, everything is arise as wisdom. That is the Mahamudra. Thoughts arise wisdom, emotion arise wisdom, suffering is arise wisdom, and happiness also arise wisdom. So everything is, arising wisdom. So we cannot say transform. Transform also another level is okay, but transform means like you changed. Right? Transform means we changed. And arising means that itself is arising, not really changed. They have like another more profound one that Jigten Sunggu mentioned about. He said, my practice is not transforming. He said, my practice is arising. Arising means like you not really transform. Example, poison is not transform medicine. Poison itself is medicine. Thoughts itself is dharmakaya. Thoughts is not you transform, change it to the emptiness. That means like, thoughts is negative and then you change it to the positive. But here is like, see, arising as wisdom means like thoughts is not negative. Thought is not negative. Thoughts is always dharmakaya. Thoughts always arising wisdom. Emotion is always arising wisdom. You don't change. So we don't know that. So I think arising as wisdom means like we knowing what is truth. It's a big difference to become, transform and arising is a big difference. I think you understand, like we can, temporarily we can use words as transform, but transforming is like, you really change. The negative is become positive. So that means like you not truly positive. The arising is like actually thoughts, emotion is always positive. But we don't know that. So example, like ice is always water. Ice is, transform to the water. Ice is, arising the water, I think. It's big difference there, but, it's when you meditate, like you understand what is difference. Can be similar, can be different, like how we understand, right? Okay, so I think finish there teaching today. Thank you. And going to the dedication. So we finish 4 Dharma Gampopa. Trashidale, thank you. Dorjen Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Pamotoba, Lord Digompa, please bestow upon us most auspicious bless all Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may achieve nations, by defeating all enemies of confusion, may all who traverse on the various birth, old age, sickness, death, cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent precious mind, where is humble may it arise, where is born may not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that Lama may have good health. I pray that Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activity is separate from why. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri Vero realized the ultimate state and as did the Samantha Bhatta, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for Saint Jinping. By the bless of the Buddha who attained the Tirikayas, by the bless of the true of unchanging Dharma Asasa, by the bless of meditative Sangha, and may I share bear fruit. By this virtue collected 3 times by my 7 or beings in samsara and nirvana, and by in the rule of virtue, may I know Saint Jinping's calculating and surpass perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of Guru Digompa Ranashir, who is omniscient Lord of Dharma, Master of Interdependence, continue to increase through study, contemplation, and meditation unto the end of the samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you, everyone. Rashid and
Thank
have
you.
a good night.
Could you tell us a little bit about what will be happening next weekend and maybe where you'll be located in the world?
Next week I'll be in the Spain again and another north of Barcelona. And we have a retreat 1 week starting I think Tuesday. So Saturday, Sunday I shared the call Revo Sanchu is someone have a request from I think through our translator Shirap. And also I'll be in the very beautiful mountain and the nature, so it's good to do the Revo Sanchu practice. So share the teaching and we practice. Revo Sanchu is actually is small offering too. And first small offering. First one means like first small offering, then after many small offering, sadhana comes. The root small offering, prayer. It's come from Pema Sambhava. Okay, thank you, Tashi Dalek. Anything?
Thank you. No, thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Okay, that's helpful. Then after following, I'll be in the Amsterdam. Then after following, I'm in the UK, London. Then after that, I'm in somewhere in the Alberta or Vancouver, Canada. Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Everything
Amanda,
is moving.
thanks, Amanda, for keeping us on the correct page, and thanks, Sheriff, as always.
Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly.
You
Thank you.
Shirap.
Thank you.
Chiche, Shishe,
Namaskara, thank you.
Kishan, thank you, Debbie,
Thank
Amanda. That was nice.
Thank you, Kempo. Beautiful class. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, very
Thank you,
beautiful.
Excellent.
Sangha.
That was
Teacher
beautiful.
and
That's
Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you
Hi,
very
everyone.
much.
So much.
Bless you all.
Thank you, Kenpo, for the precious teachings.
Thank you, Kempo. Thank you, Sangha.
Almost through. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, Debbie. Bye, everybody.
Wow,